Hello everyone, I am so excited to be here with you and to be doing this session with you. So I am actually away at the moment, and unfortunately the internet and the Wi-Fi connection is not as good as I would have hoped. Not ideal when you run your own business, and of course I want to obviously make sure that this session is as incredible for you as possible. So we're going to have exactly the same experience. I'm going to be sharing all of my slides, all of my trainings with you, but I just want to make sure that there aren't any glitches. You're not left in a situation where I can't show up and you can't see me, or it's frozen or anything like that. So I want to create the most seamless experience for you as possible, and I think that this is going to be the best way to do that. So welcome. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you so much, Jose, for having me and for allowing me to become part of your community and offer you this amazing training this evening, this afternoon, wherever you are watching, whether you're watching with me live or on the replay. So welcome. In today's session, we're going to actually be talking about how you can start communicating effectively, selling confidently, and keep things simple. And the reason for this is when myself and Jose were talking about this and we were looking at what I can do to really serve you and support you, there is a lot to be said for the misconceptions around social media and potentially how you show up, what you're doing when you show up, and showing up is the only thing that is effective. So you might think I'm posting, I'm sharing content, I'm getting visible, I'm doing collaborations, but it's not resulting in attracting in your ideal clients. It's not resulting in serving your ideal clients, and that's not making you happy. So I wanted to create a training for you that actually talks to those potential challenges. How can you actually communicate effectively? And what I mean by that is communicate in a way that actually allows you to engage with your ideal clients and allow them to be ready to say yes to working with you. So having a really highly engaging and converting communication method, as well as then selling with confidence, because I know that for so many of you using the online space, sales can seem like it's separate identity, and sales is almost its separate thing. But I don't want that for you. I don't want you to see sales as a separate task, to-do list, or strategy. I want this to become something that is embedded within your strategy, within your business, within your marketing, within your message, within your content, and ultimately allow you to keep this simple. You don't need to have funnels. You don't need to have complicated systems. You don't need to have every software. It doesn't need to be complicated for you to be able to communicate effectively and sell confidently. So that's what we're going to be covering in our session today. But what we're going to do is actually work backwards. So what's really important with this is I want to start with, and I'm really inviting you to start with, where we can make the biggest impact in what's coming up for you, how it's working for you, and how potentially all of this in terms of how you show up, your messaging, your sales, could be refined so that you get better results. So we're going to start backwards. The first thing I really want you to be thinking about when we look at keeping your business simple is actually how your business is working and how your business is functioning. So there are three key elements when we look at your business. And of course, you will have had amazing trainings on this. You would have done so much with Jose and everyone else in your community and with your clients and what you do in your businesses to create this impact. But what's really important is to remember that the three key elements for any business is their marketing, their sales, and their service. And for us, if we talk predominantly to the online space, marketing. So marketing, of course, is super important because this is the thing that helps you amplify your message, amplify your brand, and really just up level who you are, what you do, and why you're showing up, why you're here to serve. Then you've got your sales. Of course, we need sales, and we all know that we need sales. Sales is a huge part of being able to create a profitable, sustainable business. And then we've got our service. Actually thinking about the service that we offer, the service that we create. So the reason we're working backwards is I would love to spend a tiny bit of time giving you the opportunity to reflect on your current business and these three areas. So thinking about your business as it stands at the moment, looking at your marketing, looking at your sales, and looking at your services and how you deliver your service, I'd love for you to just spend some time thinking about what is working, what isn't working, what are you enjoying, and what feels like a burden. So you might be thinking, when you're watching this, thinking about your marketing. And okay, I absolutely love showing up on social media, but it's not converting clients. Sales. I love when a client says yes, but I don't enjoy discovery calls, or I don't enjoy launching, or I don't enjoy promoting my services. So doing the service. I absolutely love serving my clients, but I don't enjoy the admin. I don't enjoy the onboarding. I don't enjoy the clunkiness of the systems or the software or whatever it is that you might be using. So I just want you to really look at your business currently and think about how effective and efficient is it? What are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? What's working? What feels like this constant cumbersome burden? And how do we want to start creating a business that is simpler? The business does not need to become more complex to become more successful. The business does not need to become more strategic in order for you to create more success. Simple allows you to really get laser focused, but it also allows you to become really refined in the methods that you're using, the way that you're showing up, how you're delivering, how you're serving, and also really look at where you are spending your time. Because this is the other thing, if we have a disproportionate amount of time being spent on things like creating social media content, and we don't have enough time being focused on generating sales or generating leads, we're of course going to have an imbalance. You might have a really strong marketing business and campaigns and visibility, but you don't necessarily have a strong business when it comes to your profit, your sustainability. So that's where I really want to start. The whole point of this session is not to just get you to communicate effectively and make sales, but to keep this simple for yourself, to allow you to enjoy your business, to allow you to show up in your business and know exactly what's happening and when it's happening. It's so important for you to feel like you're in control of the growth of your business and that you are enjoying that whole process. So that would be a homework task, a reflection for you. And if I do this every month, I actually sit down and look at the month and review it. What worked and what didn't? What let us down? Where were the glitches? How did we handle new clients coming in? How effective were the team? How was communication? What went wrong? What did I love? And I use that to then fuel me for the month ahead. So this isn't something that we just do once and it just becomes this kind of flippant activity that we did because we listened to a training. It becomes a way that you can start tracking your own peak performance for yourself, but also for your business. If we want to really start creating these shifts and changes for your business to move forward, we do need to take the time to look at where we want to make those small incremental changes and how we can start to refine them. So simplicity and refinement are where we're starting. The reason for that is it's going to make it so much easier for you to communicate and sell with confidence and effectively because you know your systems. You know why you're doing it, you know who you're doing it for, you know the process, and you know how to make sure that the best experience is happening and you are able to fulfill that. So that's why we must start here. It needs to be a primary foundation. So once we've done that, what I really want us to start looking at is your potential clients. When we're looking at our communication and we're looking at our sales process, a lot of the time we're thinking about our own conversion rates. We're thinking about our own launch strategies or our own numbers, what we want to do to actually get more people into our business, whatever it might be. But these are the three things that I believe are going to help absolutely up level that experience, not just for you, but for your audience. In your business, especially if you use the online space, what's super important is for us to understand that people are the reason that our business starts to move forward, and people are the reason that our business is sustainable. They talk about you, they share what you do, they refer you, they come back. So these are the three elements that I would really love for you to take this step deeper in. So when you're looking at your systems, you're looking at your processes, you're looking at your marketing, you're looking at your message, I'd love for you to start thinking about the journey, the experience, and the next steps. So the journey, if you were to think about your business and how anyone can find you, how anyone can come into your business, and I'll use myself as an example, which I always do. And if we haven't spent time on social media, you'll see that I do this a lot in my stories, in my lives, in my trainings. I will always use myself, what I do with my clients and the way that I show up as a direct example, because I think that's important and it creates that tangibility. But also as an ex-teacher, it's really important for me to always showcase how I'm doing this for myself, to therefore make sure that you get the very best opportunities to learn. So the journey, if I was to give you this in my example, all of you might be new to me. We may never have met, you might not know who I am, and the first time you're meeting me, I'm actually sat on a floor on a skiing holiday doing this training. But what's more important is what happens next for you. So your journey as a as someone now that we're connected with? What do you learn about me instantly? Where would you go? If you went on my Instagram, what would you learn? If you watched a video on my YouTube channel, if you listened to my podcast, what would you find out? Where are you then taken? What journey are you taken on? It could be to a free masterclass. It could be to follow more of my content, watch some of my free live trainings on Instagram, wherever. I want to make sure that I'm creating a robust journey for my audience. And this comes from number one, which is your marketing. So this is all free. This is all available to you for free. So when I talk about how you can communicate effectively, this is the number one strategy that you can leverage and optimize every single day in your business for free. Your own marketing. So me doing my live trainings on my Instagram, me having free masterclasses that you can opt into, me having a podcast, me having my Instagram stories, whatever it might be, all of that gives you a much better in-depth journey of what's available when we spend time together, what I teach, what you can learn, how I can be of service. So that's the first thing I really want you to be thinking about. What's the actual journey that someone can go on when they spend time and they find out who you are? What's the journey? And in an ideal world, we want to at least be able to triangulate that journey for them. So what I mean by that is, you want your journey to essentially take them on this continual cycle. So the podcast, maybe you mentioned follow me on Instagram. The Instagram maybe talks about a masterclass. The masterclass maybe talks about the podcast. So you've created a full circle experience. So which leads to the next thing. But in terms of your journey, then you're not only creating a journey for someone if they're brand new. You're not only creating a journey for someone based on this one training that you've got. You're creating a really robust system for yourself, but also for this person that's now come into your environment. And that then leads to the experience. What's the experience that someone is currently having with you? And the reason that we're focusing on this is these are simple steps. This doesn't involve a complex strategy. This doesn't involve any kind of overwhelming work that you now need to do. This is fundamental marketing, messaging, branding, visibility, content creation strategies that you can be executing now. You can start taking action on improving and up-leveling these things for your business, for your brand, and for your potential clients instantly. So the experience, when someone does spend time with you, what is their experience? Are they learning? Are they being taught something? Are they doing something with you? Is it an opportunity for them to spend time with you one-to-one? Are they in a group situation? Are they watching free content? Are they overwhelmed with just the most amazing things that you have to offer? What's the actual experience you want them to have? And this will be different for each of you. This will be different based on your business, your energy, the way you want to run your brand, and also the ideal client. So for me, my ideal clients are action takers. They tend to be real doers. They really want to get moving. They want to make progress. So the experience that people have when they spend time with me is very similar to that. And I emulate that energy, and that's what I attract. Action taking, pace, moving with momentum, and focusing on making progress and success happen. So what's the experience that you want someone to have? And again, just to reinforce, if you're thinking, Sam, this isn't really teaching me how to communicate, and this isn't teaching me how to sell, we will get to that. But what's more important is, if we can't understand where your communication and your sales becomes a synergy, we are missing a really valuable lesson, because your marketing and your content have the ability to sell for you, to talk about who you are for you, and give these people the most amazing experience without having to do anything active. All of this content can live there. People could be watching my live videos on Instagram now, but instead I'm recording this training for you, and then I'm going to be on the slopes. So you can create valuable experiences without you having to be part of them if you have an intention behind it. You will only have an intention behind it if you know who you're talking to. When you know who you're talking to, you'll be able to communicate effectively. When you know that, selling will just become a byproduct. So then this is number 3, which is, what is the next step? When someone does spend time with you, what is their next step? What are they doing next? Do you want them to opt into your newsletter? Do you want them to join a free training? Do you want them to subscribe on YouTube? Whatever it might be, do you want them to book a free call? What is their next step? And the reason this is so important is, people behave how they're allowed to behave. And if you're allowing people to just bumble around and follow your content, but there's no real direction, there's no communication, there's no need for conversation, and there's definitely no need for them to reach out first, they won't. So make sure you're really clear on what your next steps are within your business. And if we just go back a step, let me just scroll up for you and we look at this. There are 3 key elements that will move your business forward: your marketing, your sales, and your service. We want to keep this simple. And this is the way that we can do this. We can look at the journey for your clients, we can look at the experience we're creating, and we can look at their next steps. All of this comes way before we need to worry about communication and sales. Because if we're doing this effectively, the other things will happen automatically. It doesn't need to become a thing that we think about. So that would be my next homework for you. And I know that, of course, you're watching this and I am not with you live, but I would love for you to share with me and Jose what comes up for you. You know, what are your reflections? What are you going to refine? What needs work? What part of your client journey, your client experience, and your client next steps do you need to focus on? Because the majority of the time, when it comes to not making sales, it's not about the selling. It's about all of these elements that I'm talking to you about before. We don't have these fundamental processes in place, which makes it so much harder for someone to actually want to take the next step. 1, they don't know what it is. 2, they don't know what they're getting. And 3, they don't know how to ask or get it. So it's really important that we create these things for them. And you can do that in your content, like I've said, for free, consistently. So now you'll be pleased to know we're going to get into the juicy bit. So what's really important is, in order for you to communicate effectively, there are some simple things that you can be thinking about, some simple ways that you can communicate effectively, and some simple ways that you can start to actually make these changes. Now, number 1, when it comes to communicating effectively, is looking at your content creation. Number 2 is serving your clients. Number 3 is delegating. Number 4 is sales. Number 5 is visibility. These are my examples. So when I think about my communication, these are some of the ways that I will break up how I'm communicating. And again, remember, as a business, it's not just about potential clients, it's about your community, your team, and yourself. So when you think about your content, what message are you communicating? It's a simple question, but a lot of people forget that. And they just post the latest trending audio for their reel. They post their stories about what they're doing, but there's no next step. So when you're thinking about your content creation for your business, how is that communicating an effective message? What message is it actually communicating? Is it communicating how someone can work with you? How good you are at what you do? Is it communicating your credibility, your authority? Is it communicating value that they can have, support that you can give? Or is it just a piece of content that will just become part of your content pillars? And you've got exactly the same process, which you can do from looking at serving your clients. How are you communicating effectively with your clients? Delegating. What are you delegating? None of us live in our zone of genius 24/7. And if you're spending time doing things that do not light you up, that is taking you away from the things that do. So this part of the training is actually just giving you the chance to audit yourself. When you think about your communication, how confident do you feel? How confident, if you were to say out of 5, do you feel in communicating your message effectively? Number 1 is, I'm not. Number 5 is, yeah, I'm absolutely smashing it. I know how to communicate. I use my key language. I know the terminology. I look at the sales psychology, buying behaviors. Yes, I'm on it. And then this is where these things can come in. Communication is not something we only need when we're selling. We need to be able to communicate in all areas of our business. So they're just some examples for you of things that you could start to look at when it comes to communication, and how you can do that effectively. And if you do want more support on how you can communicate that through your content, how you can communicate that with your sales, your visibility, your social media presence, please reach out to me, because I've got 2 free trainings that could be really, really helpful for you on that, around those 2 things, building your online presence and attracting your ideal clients from this perspective. But I really today want to focus on the communication and selling with confidence. So here we've got, and for some reason my amazing images aren't showing for you. So then what I really want you to be looking at is, when you are thinking about your sales, it's important that we recognize that the way we sell will be a direct representation of how we feel about ourselves and our businesses and how we're showing up. So if it's possible, I'd love for you to do another task, classic, the teacher in me, to talk about your own business and self-awareness. Where are your strengths and your gaps when you think about sales? What are you really good at? What do you enjoy? And what do you struggle with? What do you find difficult when it comes to selling? Where do you find it uncomfortable or hard to convert? Because when we know these things, this allows us to do three things. Number one, strengthen our communication. Number two, strengthen our marketing around these areas so you can actually make people aware of them sooner. So if you have a gap, for example, in converting on the phone, you might want to start using your marketing message to start focusing on how people can convert quicker, how you can actually get conversions without needing to speak to people so frequently, how you can handle objections publicly, how you can talk about potential buying behavior struggles and where they're at with their sales psychology. So looking at your own strengths and gaps. And when you can do that, you can then communicate more effectively because you can talk to those challenges and make sure people understand before they get to a buying decision. Two, you can then up your marketing, but three, you can get support. None of us in business are good at everything. None of us are able to create success in every area all on our own. And this is where we need to become resourceful. And that's where we're going to get into some actual strategies. But for me, what's really important, and of course, and I know I've mentioned this before, but as a teacher, education is a really big passion of mine. And what's really important for me on a deeper level is making sure that my clients are independent and self-aware. So before I start giving you more knowledge and giving you more strategies, I don't want that to just become another note-taking activity for you that you never action. I want you to look at yourself first. Why are you here? Why are you excited about this training? Why is this something that you feel you need? And what's currently working and not working about your business thus far? There is no point in me overloading you with strategy, techniques, different tools, words of wisdom, if we're going to write that down and not know how to take action. So we need to unpick and unpack what already exists for you in your business, in the way that you show up, in understanding your marketing, your sales and your service, the simplicity of your business and how things operate before we add more to it. Your business will grow as much as you allow yourself to grow. So we need to start with you. That's why I haven't just come straight in with 5 top tips and strategies or 3 words to use or anything like that, because this has to be about you first. So with that being said, what I really want to do is focus on the strategies behind your sales. So we've looked a bit at your communication now and how you can start communicating through your marketing, through your client journey, through your client experience, and through your client next steps. And also looking at how you communicate with others, your delegation, your content creation. But now when we look at sales, the number one rule I would give anyone is sales is never a standalone operation in your business. And it's everything that you are doing that can leverage that opportunity. So everything else you're doing in your business can leverage your sales, not just selling itself. That can be your content creation. It can be sharing your client results. It can be networking. It can be doing guest appearances. It could be collaborations. It can be doing your podcast, your YouTube, writing for magazines, doing a blog, creating a live series on Instagram, doing masterclasses, creating amazing video trainings, whatever it might be. All of that can be used to leverage your opportunity to grow and make sales in your business. 90% of your sales will come from those experiences. 10% will come from you saying, hey, come and work with me now. Why is that? Because the majority of people that are ready to work with you and ready to invest already know who you are. They know about your services, they know about what you stand for, and they know that you are the solution. Think about this for yourself. For you, let's say you were looking for something and you needed a solution. You would search. You would then find results for that search. You might then start following or looking at those people or those companies, and you'd want to see what they're doing, their content, their adverts, their products, their customer reviews, their testimonials, their videos, their demonstrations, how the product's developed, how the service is developed, what they're doing to show their personality, whatever it might be. This is going to be the reason that you buy, not because they just say buy now. It will be all of the other things that complement to that buying experience. Does that make sense? This is about so much more than you just saying, oh, I've got something that I want to sell, my service, my product, my course, and people aren't buying it. Are you doing all of these other things? Are you doing all of these other things? And the image that you would be seeing is a pie, and it's lots of different slices. And what I'm pointing out to you is sales is only one slice of that pie. You can be doing so many other slices of that pie. And this is what we've spoken about and why I start with this. Your marketing, your content creation, the service that you provide, the journey, the experience, the next steps, all of this is a culmination of you being able to leverage and maximize your sales experience, your sales opportunity. So you do not need to only focus on the sale itself. That is the first rule I would give anyone. We need to be able to create a robust support system so that sales can happen as a byproduct of that, success. So my first question for you, based on this new concept and this pie, is how frequently are you just focusing on the sales activity, the sales language, the sales calls, the sales conversions, versus how much time are you giving to the other elements that will help make that sale easier for you? For example, let's say I was selling one of my one-to-one offers. I would think, how can I make this easier for myself? So I would share client testimonials, client results, social proof in the DMs, interviews with clients, things on my website, wins that I have had, experiences that have been going on for my potential clients over the last 2 weeks. All of this content, visibility, strategy, marketing would allow people, if they come into my journey, to know what I do, give them a positive experience about what's possible, and invite them to take a next step, as well as then give them an opportunity to see credibility, authority, all of the things that you might look for, like I said, when you're looking at your buying behaviors. So it's not about the sale. It's not just me going online saying, work with me one-to-one. It's all of these other elements that make that so much easier. And if you want to run a business that is built on simplicity, this is the simplest way that you can continue to create consistent results, because it's based on your strategies that you can use consistently without having to worry about external sources, paid advertising, anything else. So it's a really easy way for you to optimize your own results. So I want you to think about your sales pie. How many slices of your sales pie are just focused on sales? For example, cold emailing or DM outreach, or inviting people to book a call, doing free calls. That's all sales focused and leads focused. What else are you doing to add value, build your credibility and authority, connect with your audience, create relationships and conversations, and build engagement and value? There are five other ways that you can be using your marketing, your simple strategies, to leverage everything that you're doing for your sales experience. So that would be my number one rule when it comes to sales. Okay. And this is why you can become like this epic little rock star here. We want you to be in a situation where you can just show up and the epicness shines through. What you're doing, the confidence that you have, is not based on only when you're selling. You have this all the time. You're communicating from a space of consistency. So what is your consistent message within your business? What is that consistent message? What's that consistent theme? How is your business able to consistently grow using this message, using this branding? Because this is the other thing that's really important. You want your business to become something that talks for itself. You want your brand and other people to have the opportunity to create this epicness for you. You don't want to be the only one saying how amazing it is. You want your clients to be doing that for you. This is amazing. Oh my God. You want your people and your followers to say, you need to follow this person. This is amazing. So as someone that's been doing this and been in this space for 5 years and had a multi-six-figure business consistently without using paid marketing for the last 3 years through COVID, and continually sell out, these are things that I actually stand by, and my clients do that too. And if you were to follow me, you would see my client results in my reels, in my posts, in my lives, in my highlights, in my stories, in my emails, everywhere, because it's a huge demonstration for what I stand for as a business, but what my clients can create too. I can replicate the success that I've had for myself with my clients who are in a range of businesses. I have doctors, I have dentists, I have digital marketing agencies, I have hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, I have human design experts, I have marketing experts, I have brand consultants, I have coaches, I have so many incredible clients in a range of different areas, in a range of different businesses, getting these results. So I speak from a place of experience, but also a place of example. And for me, that matters more. It's not so much about the experience I've had, but the examples I can give you and the tangible results that you are then able to create. And this confidence, this communication is what I want you to be able to execute in your own business. So what do you stand for? What is your business built on? What are the values? What are the experiences? What are the successes? How does your business run? What do you want your clients to be getting from you? How do you want people to be talking about you? And this is a huge thing, and this isn't for today's session. But if you do want the session around building your online presence, please just reach out. But, you know, there's an amazing book by Jay Beer called Talk Triggers, and it's about so many different companies creating talk triggers. It's the best way to market your business, and it's free. Other people talking about your business. It's free marketing. That is the best way. This is what I mean. We can keep this simple. If you communicate what you do effectively, the results that you can create effectively, sales will happen as a byproduct. And this doesn't need to become complicated. So I want you all to be able to feel like this woman, you know, confident, clear, with that level of gumption. So how can you sell with confidence? Here are 6 steps if this does serve you. And you're like, Sam, I want more steps. I want more tangible information. Come on, give it to me. Here is 6 steps. The first one is stop projecting and reflecting your own money stories. If you really want to be able to sell confidently, it's not about you. It's not about your money stories. It's not about what you are projecting. You know, we don't want this to become an experience that you then just mirror back to others. For example, if you find sales really kind of tacky or sleazy or forceful or just out of alignment, you'll find people that aren't ready as well, and they'll be reflecting that back to you. It will feel out of alignment for them. Tacky, sleazy, forced, not quite right. So we really want to stop projecting on to anyone else our own money stories and start seeing this as an opportunity for you to serve. Selling is serving. And that's what it should be. Selling is about you being able to impact someone's life, legacy, business, and future. So if you are seeing selling in that way, based on the impact that you can have for people, how you can actually start building someone's confidence, business, life up to create a legacy, that's not about selling by a certain number. It's not about saying, "I'll work with me for £1,000, £10,000, whatever it is." It's about the impact that you can have, the service that you provide, the solutions that you can give. So remember that that's what selling is, not projecting anything else around your own money stories. And that's something I would definitely spend some time digging into. That's number one. The second one is always leading by example. Anything that I would want to create for my clients would be things that I've created for myself and other people too. And I think that's really important. And the other thing when it comes to selling is lead by example with your selling behaviors. If you are inviting people to invest with you, but you are not investing in yourself, you won't be able to empathize with that journey. And that can be hard sometimes. You won't be able to empathize with how it feels for other people. You won't be able to empathize with that process of saying yes to yourself or investing that amount of money. So lead by example with your own buying behaviors, your own, you know, selling habits. That's really important. And if you're someone that says yes, then says no, ghosts people, doesn't show up, is inconsistent, they're the type of people you'll attract because our energy creates more of it. We amplify the energy we give out. So leading by example is really important. Now, the third strategy is about creating a journey. You always want to be giving context. And I know I'm overloading you here with information, but I just want to make sure you get so much. And then if only one nugget sticks with you and you can use it, that's amazing. And that's what I want for you. This isn't about doing all of them. It's about finding the ones that work for you. That's really important. So number 3 is creating a journey. Always give context. Create the journey. So if someone comes to you and they have an amazing result, always give context and give the journey, because that allows someone to see how it could be relevant for them. It allows someone to see what you can do for them in their journey. And that's when they start to think about the fact that they want to go through that process with you. They want to go through that journey with you. That's really, really important. Number 4, take them behind the scenes. I talk about this all the time. It can be very difficult for someone to know what goes on if you don't tell them. So if you're serving clients, you're creating all these results, you're doing all these amazing things and no one knows about it, that is actually going to be really hard for anyone to get behind it. And it's almost like you're just shocking people when they're like, what? I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't know they were doing this. So you always want to take people behind the scenes. If you're doing a recording, if you're doing a training for someone, a masterclass, if you're serving your clients, get boomerangs, snapshots, pictures, screenshots of their DMs. Like right now I could say, well, do you know what? I'm going to do a DM. I'm going to do a boomerang. So let me do a boomerang. Now I could share that on my social media and say, this is what I was doing, you know, whatever happens, although technology glitches, that didn't stop me. I was able to deliver an amazing session, a 60-minute session for this incredible community. Thank you so much, Jose, for having me. This is incredible. This is what I taught them. Do you want to find out more about this? Would you like a training if you're in my community? So I can take people behind the scenes, even though they're not watching this now, they're not part of this. Do you see what I mean? That is really important. You want to bring your offline online. You want your audience to be able to see the entire process. This and a lot of this, by the way, is not about me selling. It's not about me showing up and saying, hey, I've got 3 spaces. It's about the experience. Go back to the beginning, the journey, the experience, the next step. Number 5, add value outside of selling. People have this real fear around giving everything away for free and not wanting to do that, not wanting to give it all away for free. But adding value outside of when you're selling means that you will never really have to sell. Adding value for your audience will mean that they want to come back, mean that they see you as a solution, and mean that they value what you teach, which means that when they are in a situation to take the next step, they will come to you and you'll be the forefront of their mind. So adding value outside of selling is, I think, vital if you really want to be building a consistent organic lead generation strategy, which is what I have and I use. And it's so important. I did a 15-minute live 2 weeks ago that wasn't planned, and I got a 1-to-1 3-month client from that, and she took my final space for Q1 from a 15-minute live that wasn't planned, because that's how I show up. It's always about adding value, creating opportunities outside of selling. So the selling happens as a byproduct. That's what I want for all of you. Selling should be easy, and it should be organic, and it should be consistent. It shouldn't be this standalone, you know, rigid experience. And number 6, showcase your examples and reasoning. Share social proof. I talk about this to my clients all the time. And one of my clients, 2 of my clients have recently done this. One has just signed 2 new one-to-one clients. One of them has just signed a new one-to-one client and someone else in their group program. So sharing social proof has the power to sell for you without you having to sell anything. You're showing someone what someone else has said to you, spoken about you, experienced with you. People want that. People want to create experiences and results. That is what we're all here for, to impact one another. So selling is a service. Selling is you serving and providing solutions. So show them those solutions. Show them what other people can learn from you, the impact that you can have, the results that you can create. So number 6 is all about showcasing examples. And yeah, for me, I just think this is such a powerful way for you to leverage your business without having to sell anything. You're just using what's already there. Going back to the beginning, you're communicating effectively and with intention. It's free, and it's something that's going to serve your audience and allow you to create sales consistently by keeping it simple. This is all about having a simple, effective, profitable, sustainable business. All of my key buzzwords. So they would be my 6 strategies in terms of how can you actually sell with confidence. And if we were to deep dive into that a little bit further, I hope you like my little diving man. I know, very original. Thank you. I want you to think about how you can communicate effectively. And here are 4 questions to always ask yourself. So now you'll be thinking, oh, Sam's actually giving us things. I can take notes on this. Yes, but it started with you. This will only work if you do all of the other things first. Streamline your business, audit yourself and your performance, and make sure your communication is based on what you want it to be based on. Journey, experience, next steps. So these would be 4 questions I would always ask when it comes to communicating effectively. Why now? So why do they need this thing now? Whether it's a freebie or a paid thing, why do they need it now? What happens next? So what happens when they have said yes? What can they expect? What's the outcome? What are the tangible KPIs? Where are they going? What are the success parameters? You know, what's going to be their progress? Where will it take me? So what will happen when this ends? Where will their business be at? Where will they be at? What will their knowledge be like? You know, project them forward and then give them other options. Or you don't have to take the action. You don't have to do this right now. But if you don't want to, then this will happen next. So that's when you might say things like, this is only available for a limited time, or my prices will be changing if they are, or this course won't run again, or you just don't do anything and you stay where you are. Or you can enjoy my free content, but you don't have any access to me, or whatever it is. Always give them the other side of the coin. So if you really want to start communicating effectively from a sales standpoint, these would be 4 key things. Why now? What's the next step? So how do we sign up? What should they do? Can they book a call? Do they DM you? Do they email you? Where do they go? Where will it take them? What can they expect? What are the outcomes, KPIs, all of those things? Or you can do this. Or we don't do this and this is what you can do. That's still communicating effectively. You're giving people choice. So they would be 4 key fundamental questions and frameworks I would look at, whether it's in your emails, whether it's in your stories, whether it's in your lives, whether it's in your captions on your posts, using that framework. How to communicate effectively from a sales standpoint. But this sales standpoint, remember, can be for something free as well. Free workshop, webinar, masterclass, training, challenge, series, whatever it might be. You can use this framework for everything when it comes to communication. So from there, we're moving on to our final stages. And like I said, I know I'm giving you so much, but that's what this is about. I've got limited time with you, and I want to jam pack it full of value so that you've got, each of you might take something different and a different golden nugget. So the power of your language when you come to communicating, I've given you some key words there. I've given you 15 words that could be words that you start to think about using in your communication. Why? Because they're direct, they're clear, they're emotive, and they trigger something that people want. So you'll have access to these slides, and of course you've got access to this training. So these would be things that I would really, really think about. If you want to use other words, why? Why do you want to use these other words? Make sure that they're clear, they're direct, they're emotive, and they trigger an emotion. So that's just there for you. We're not going to talk about each one. So then there's a task for you if you really want to start practicing this. And you can do this as another homework. This is the 3rd homework. You had 2 at the start and you've got this one. I'd love for you to look at one of these objects, pick one, and then do a little task for yourself and write down why someone needs it. Why is that the most amazing product they can have? What words do you use? What energy, descriptions, emotions? Why is it used in their household? How can it benefit their life? Because a lot of the time we get stuck in our own heads, we get stuck in our own business, we get stuck in our own content, all of those things. And actually, a lot of the time that can hold us back. So if we don't want to get stuck in that, what I really want for you is to get stuck in something else and just allow this creative outlet to happen. Allow this creation to flow, this expressive communication. So this is a task I do with my clients when they come to their mastermind days with me, but I think it could be really fun and effective for you too, to just spend some time talking about a gold whistle. Why is it amazing and why do people need it? And then using that and thinking, okay, well, let me think about my offer, my course, my product, my service. Why is it amazing and why do people need it? So that's another fun activity if you want to. If you want to go above and beyond and you want to stretch yourself, really put everything we've done today in action and into practice before putting it in your own business, that would be something that you could do. So finally, before we go on and move on, is looking at what, I've just realized we passed that, is looking at these 3 elements: building your online presence, attracting your ideal clients, and reframing your mindset. Everything we've been doing today in the last 50 minutes so far has been building up to this point. No matter what, your business will continue to grow and scale if you continue to build your online presence, you're attracting your ideal clients, and you reframe your mindset around sales. If, however, we're only showing up when we're selling, we're only creating content when we're selling, and then we disappear, you're going to create a very feast and famine, peak and trough business. Lots of energy expenditure and then lots of retreating. I want you to be creating this consistent element of focus around, which is why marketing, sales, and service are your 3 key, simple features of a successful business when it comes to communication and sales. If you look at your marketing, that's building your online presence. If you look at your sales, that's attracting your ideal client. If you look at your service, that's looking at your mindset. You will serve based on what you're ready to give and where you're at in your own development. So this is just to give you a roundup of why these things matter from a business standpoint and strategy. So what I would love for you to now think about is, what are you going to start doing differently? How are you going to start showing up using any of these strategies or homeworks to build a simpler, more effective business, to really hone in on your communication and marketing, to start seeing sales as a synergy within your business rather than its standalone focus, and really think about the simplicity of all of this? None of this is about making things more complicated. And I would love to be sitting here giving you these diagrams and flowcharts, but it's not necessary. I don't do it in my business, and nor would I invite any of my clients to do it if it's not necessary. What is necessary is these things: to consistently be building your online presence, to be consistently attracting your ideal clients, and to be reframing your mindset. And I've given you ways that you can do that. How can you build your online presence? We've gone through that in terms of from this. But if you want another training on that, then reach out to me. But based on this today, we've looked at your language, we've looked at your communication, we've looked at your journey, experience, and next steps. We've looked at the content you're creating. We've looked at how you're building this up into your business to be a consistent focus. We've looked at, let's go back at some of these activities. We've looked at the activities that you've done. We've looked at what you're going to say and when you're going to say it. We've also looked at what things you need to be thinking about when you're selling. So I'm hoping that throughout our time together, I've given you things to focus on as an individual, as a business owner, really looking at the behind the scenes of your business, but also some strategies that you can use for communication and language, for sales strategy and focus, and for the simplicity of scaling and growing your business sustainably. So like I said, I'm so sorry that this wasn't live as you first planned, but I really hope that the last 55 minutes has still given you as much value. This is exactly what we would have done together, but it's just to save on the technical glitches, like I said, and just prevent us from those, that this has still given you exactly what you needed, the support that you were ready for. And if you do have questions, of course, you can reach out to me. And, you know, Jose, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for everyone for being here and holding this space and being part of this training. If you need anything from me, you can find me on Instagram, Samantha Hearne. I would love to spend time with you, support you, celebrate you. And, you know, Jose's got all of my information to be able to offer any next steps that you might need. So thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you all online, and I'm sure no doubt inside this amazing community. Have an incredible Thursday, everyone, and rest of the week if you are watching this on replay. Bye for now.